So yes, it depends on where you are working. So people make between $28 an hour as much as $45 an hour. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Obahi, and on this channel I share my life experiences as a social worker and as an immigrant in Canada, hoping that you learn something from me and I learn something from you. Guys, today is just a random day in our lives, and we randomly stumbled on a post saying that they are doing some furniture sales, like Labor Day sales, or you know, usually in September, October. I don't know where the sound is coming from. I think an helicopter or something is passing, but yeah, so around this time of the year there's usually a lot of sales, furniture sales, beddings, like patio furniture, stuff like that usually go on sale this period, and we just thought to go to Leon's and see what they have and then kind of buy them, you know, now that they are cheap now, before you go expensive. So yeah, so that's the plan. We're just driving out to go buy that. And guys, let me give you a little sneak peek of the car we bought. Remember the last video we bought a car? I'm just going to show you a sneak peek of what it looks like in here. So this is the entertainment system, the dashboard. It's just a very sleek car. So yes, it's a bit gloomy today. It looks like it's gonna rain, and we're in the month of September. As we all know, once it starts getting creeping towards October like this, everybody's preparing for the winter. So yeah, that's what it is. But I just wanted to answer to a question that somebody asked me on my YouTube channel. So the person left me an email, so I'm just going to respond to that email just so that question is answered. In case you have any questions that you want to ask, also leave me an email. If I'm not able to reply you directly, I'll definitely do a video just to like answer your question. So I'll read the email and then we can answer it together. And so the writer says, hello babe, I noticed that social work positions in Alberta and BC advertised per hour. As you may recall from your experience in the UK, social workers working in permanent roles are paid per month, but locum social workers are paid hourly rates. Permanent social work in the UK with monthly salary are entitled to paid leave and other types of leave, but locums are not. My questions are, does it mean that if you are paid an hourly rate, you are not permanently employed in Canada and you will not have leave entitlement? If this is the case, are there permanent positions whereby you are paid monthly with entitlement to leave? Now, yes, I remember that when I was in the UK social workers were paid monthly. As at the time I was trying to, like I was doing my placement, looking at job positions, they were going to pay me £27,000, or I think yes, it was between 27 and 30,000 pounds I was going to be paid as a new social worker. Here in Canada, if you are being employed by the government, if the government is employing you, maybe in the health or in the ministry, you are going to be employed most times. I might be wrong, but so far that I've seen, you start on a temp position. So you usually sign like a 6 months contract, a 9 months contract, and after that they renew your contract. Sometimes you might be bumped up to a permanent position even before the end of your temp, but most times when you are employed as a temp employee first, and then you later be bumped up to a permanent position. Another thing is that just if you are employed in the ministry or under the government, you are usually a union position. In the UK, there was nothing like you had to join a union yourself. But here, once you are employed by the government, either in the health authority or in the ministry, you are automatically in a union, and because you are a union position, you get paid per hour. What that simply means is that you don't get paid leave and all that. Your holiday is usually paid as part of your salary bi-weekly. So that's the case. So until you become a permanent staff, that's when you get paid holiday. So when I was working as a temp staff, what I usually do is kind of put my holiday pay aside, knowing that that's my holiday pay, because if there's a statutory holiday or you go on leave, you don't get paid because that's already been distributed on your monthly pay. So that's it. If you are worried if you're going to be if your contract is going to be extended, as long as you're doing your job, it's a union position. Most times union will stand for you. If you are not doing your job, that's when you don't get renewed. But if you are doing your job, be rest assured that your contract will be renewed. So yeah, and personally I prefer being paid hourly, because if you are paid on a salary rate, how do you get paid for overtime? And Ministry of Social Services, once you have worked 37.33 hours, anything above that is overtime, so you get paid time and half. In the UK there was nothing like that. I know there are times when I was doing my placement where myself and my practicum tutor would have worked till 6:30, 7 o'clock. The most you do is that you come an hour late the next day just to cover for that time that you have worked over. Nobody pays you for it. But here, if you work more than your hours, as long as overtime has been approved, you get paid for your overtime. Even if it's not approved, you bank it and then later you can cash it out. But if overtime is approved, you get paid for that extra hour you've worked. So yeah, I personally prefer the way Canada does it, because one, you're already in a union, you don't have to go look for a union by yourself. And as we know, as a social worker, it's good to be part of a union so that you can be protected. You can protect your PIN, you know, your license. So yeah, that is the answer to that question. I hope I was able to answer your question. So yes, it depends on where you are working. So people make between $28 an hour as much as $45 an hour. I know people that are in the health authority make a whole lot more than us that are working in the ministry, and that's why I'm trying to creep my way into health. So medical social workers make more than people that are working in the children, like make more than children's social workers, just because you even get to make overtime. Like that overtime that they are paying you for is time and half. So let me tell you, let's say you're making $34 an hour, right? And you work more than 37.33 hours in a week. Anything you work more than that will be paid at a time and half. I feel like it pays way more to work as a social worker in Canada than in the UK. And then we know taxes again and all that. And here, if you're working with the ministry, you get this pension that is called PEP. And that's like a no-brainer. You're saving for your future. So social work here is more profitable. Like you earn more working as a social worker here. I know that America is still our oga when it comes to social workers. My friends and social workers in America are banking like good amount of money. And yes, we are not making as much as they make here in Canada, but I tell you, it's way better than the UK, except for people that are working as agency social workers, right? Yes, I know here we have travel social workers, but it's not very common. And again, it can be really tricky to work as a travel social workers because the requirements for being licensed to work as a social worker in provinces differ. So that might be another reason why we might not have travel social workers here in Canada. Now, it's just like you working in NHS and working as a nurse in America. You find out that people that work as nurses in America make a whole lot more than people that work as nurses in the UK. And that's because they don't get paid extra for working overtime. You still get paid the same rate for working more than required hours in a week. It's not the same way here in Canada. If you work an extra hour more than your normal hours to work in a week, you get paid for the extra hours. Nobody is here to come and work free, you know. So yeah, I hope I was able to answer your question. Social work here in Canada is kind of different from the UK, and I'm going to highlight more reasons why I say social work is different here and why I prefer working as a social worker here in Canada than in the UK. Anyway, we're here in Lyon, and I'm just going to go in, show you some of the things that we maybe see, you know, and then we'll go home. Guys, I don't talk tired. Anyway, see you guys. So while I was editing this video, I just realized that there were some things I didn't mention, and I'm just going to say them real quick here. So the truth of the matter is that social workers, they have different positions. Like If you have a bachelor's degree and you have a master's degree, there are master's degree position where you get paid way more than someone that has a bachelor's degree. That's not the same way in the UK. The UK, everybody is paid like the same amounts. So you kind of grow based on the amount of years you work as a social worker. Here, if you have a master's degree, there are some master's level roles where you get paid more than someone who has a bachelor's degree. So that's why I say working in Canada as a social worker is more profitable than working as a social worker in the UK. If you are a therapist, you can make as much as 130,000 Canadian dollars a year. There are even private organizations that pay between $82,000 a year to 130,000 Canadian dollars a year. There are also platforms like BetterHelp, where there are online therapeutic apps, like therapeutic platforms where you can apply and then work as a therapist, like a side gig, and you can make as much as $100 to $150 an hour. So working as a social worker in Canada is more profitable than working as a social worker in the UK. I believe that the UK professionals, nurses, doctors, generally professionals in the UK are underpaid. Our counterparts in America are making way more than anybody in the world, but I will tell you that we that work in Canada are not badly paid. We're not paid as well as Americans, but I'll tell you that we're not badly paid. So yeah, if you've been thinking of coming to Canada to work as a social worker, please, you can do it. It pays more. Like, it seriously pays more. So we're just on our way home from the store, from Lyon. So we're going home. I hope I was able to answer your questions. So basically, personally, I prefer social work in Canada because I don't have to use my car, and so many other perks that come with working as a social worker in Canada. So if you're planning to come to Canada as a social worker, don't think about it too much. Now when you go, before you go cast. Anyway, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope it made a lot of sense to you that asked the question. I hope this was able to, clear your doubts and kind of make you understand what it feels like to work as a social worker in Canada. And if you have any questions or any concerns, do well to send me an email. My email address is always in my description box. Please do well to give this video a thumbs up. It helps YouTube recommend the video to other people. And if you have not subscribed, what do you gain? What are you gaining? What do you want to gain? Please subscribe to the channel. And thank you very much for watching this video. Till we'll see you again on my next one. Do have a nice day, guys. Bye.